Greetings everyone, this is Alt Lexington playing for Meriki Command using my Ferengi science officer called Fred. Since my last video where we played the 13th episode of the Klingon War story arc from a Federation perspective, I've made a few changes in this character, his bridge officers. I've changed them all to Ferengis. Kret, Pret, Brett, Dret, Gret, and Tret to match Fret, which is my character's name. I know it says Bet, but that's because I've tried to rename him a few times. Anyway, this video is about playing the 14th episode in the Klingon War story arc to follow up from the 13th episode which I played in the last video on this character. So if we scroll down past the 13th to the 14th, follow the mystery back to a place where everything is familiar but nothing is the same. Get the help of a legend and discover the Davidians' ultimate plan. Ooh. So let's hail and find out what this is all about. Franklin Drake, Mr. Section 31, who thumbs his nose up at Starfleet and Federation protocols and rules. He's a spy. What's he got to say for himself?
This is your lucky spin.
Obviously, the Davidians have found a way to harness this surge of trionic energy. The existence of the Davidian portal means they're travelling freely between the station in the present and in the past. Since 23rd century technology can't detect the Davidian phase shift, that time period is rife with potential victims. The only choice now to stop the incursion at its source. The only choice now is to stop the incursion at its source.
This is your lucky spin.
You'll have to take that portal into the past and find out how the Davidians are creating this new surge of trionic energy. Stop them and find a way back without altering the timeline. Don't worry about temporal investigations, I'll pull a few strings. They'll never know that you are gone. Best to keep your team small, just in case. Go to Drozana Station, which is located in the Delta Quadrant, and take a portal back through time to discover the source of the Davidian incursion. You will receive the following rewards: lots of skill points, expertise, a little bit of dilithium, but this is more important: retro phaser bank. It's from the Captain Kirk Enterprise style ship, the Constitution class. It's a blue phaser beam and it's very good looking. Let's accept the mission.
That's a great uniform.
As you can see, I'm already at Drozana Station where the mission begins. Let me center my character on the screen for playing this episode. Right, to begin the episode, you have to go to the elevator next to the transporter. And when you click this console, instead of having to go through all the maintenance levels like you did on the last episode, What Lies Beneath, in this episode, Everything Old is New, you can just descend straight to the Davidian portal. So let's do that. It wants you to bring a small away team, Kret and Pret, 2 engineers. So, okay. Now we should arrive straight at the portal. Taking a moment to load, probably because I'm recording video. voice is going a little bit, so please excuse me if I cough a little bit. And here we are, straight at the portal. We didn't even have to run through the maintenance levels like we did in the previous episode. It's just assumed that that is what you did. A properly modulated energy discharge should allow us to use this portal to follow the Davidians back through time. Once we get there though, it might be a bit trickier to get back. We should bring as few people as possible to minimize the chances of distorting the timeline. That's why you two muggins are here. Continue. So a properly modulated energy weapon. Well, I find that kinetic energy works just as well from the TR rifle, and one shot should be enough. There, it's now modulated. I can put my weapon away now and take the portal to the past. Oh, it's like being reborn. There be whales here. I've travelled through time. The portal has closed, and we've been deposited in the computer core room of Drozana Station in the past. We're still in Drozana Station, sir. Just in the past. We need to be very careful here, Captain. If we damage the station or injure anyone, we could damage the timeline irrevocably. Even if Drake doesn't care about the Temporal Prime Directive, we should. We're still Starfleet officers after all. Set weapons to stun, shoot to kill. We're still in the computer core, Captain. Strange, I wonder why there's nobody here. From what I remember about this time period, there should be someone here, even just a technician. Kret? From what you remember? Were you alive in this time period? Wow. Continue. If we can find the right parts, we could cobble together a subspace field emitter and perhaps get an idea of what the Davidians are doing here. But using 23rd century technology will make it much more difficult. The Federation won't develop ways to detect the subspace variances that Davidians use until almost a century from now. I will make a list of components here that we can use to fine-tune Drozana Station's sensor array. We'll probably find the regulator component somewhere near the computer core and an induction coil on the power systems level. So we've got to collect parts for a subspace phase modulator. This whole room is called the computer core because it's got a computer core in it. I thought the actual computer would be called the core and this would be called the core room. Oh well. Looks like they have their dinner by these computers as well, at these tables. That's not very wise. Well, would you look at here, the door won't open. Let's examine it. No wonder there's nobody here. The station is on medical alert. Non-essential personnel are confined to quarters, and the computer core is locked down. Unfortunately, that lockdown works both ways. No one can get in, but we can't get out either. Lucky for us that these old systems had some well-documented problems. It shouldn't be too difficult to override the controls. So we've got to override the controls and unlock the computer core door. Oh, he's going to tell us how. Sir, these old duotonic computers have a memory fault that makes them susceptible to overloads. An overload could cause it to lose processes, like the one locking the door to the computer core. In this century, there shouldn't be any tasks that could overload them, but there's an infamous 24th century warp geometry problem that wouldn't be that would be insoluble with the processing power available to this computer. If we set the consoles to divert processing power to parts of this problem, we might be able to cause a memory overwrite that would make the computer lose its security lockdown. So we've got to overload the computer core. Continue. Well, I think I know how to do this, and if you don't do it right, it can be very frustrating going over all these consoles over and over again to find the right way to do it. So pay attention and remember this for when you play through. The first thing you do is go to the console at the back of the room opposite the door, the environmental console, and bank switch memory in banks 1 and 2. That's the first of 2 steps to get through the door. The next step is to run up to the back ramp, the ramp in the back of the room, and follow it all the way around to the field integrity console, where you bank switch memory in banks 1 and 3. That's it. That should open the door. Override into lockouts on computer core door. It's ticked, so it's complete. And instead of running back all the way around, why not just jump down and your crew will follow you. The door should be open now. There it is. Halt! Who goes there? Hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, Lieutenant Myers? This station is on medical alert. Nobody's supposed to be in the computer core area but me. Hey, is that a weapon? Don't try anything or I'll have to stun you. Well, there's several answers here. If you're a Klingon, you want to attack him. But if you're a Federation, you don't want to attack. You want to be diplomatic. And there are ways around having to fight. So you go through the dialogue. I'm lost. The lift shouldn't even have let you come down here to this level. How did you get here? Well, you want to try the second response here. You can't tell him the truth because he won't believe it and he'll stun you. I was stuck on the lift when the station went to alert. This is where it let me out. You should have used the intercom to call for assistance. It's not safe to move about the station during a medical alert. Right, I should get back up to the main station areas. Follow me, I'm going to call for a security escort. Now you don't want to click the first one that says fine, I'll wait for the escort, because security will check you out and shoot you because they know you're lying. So let's try and bluff him out with, but if I'm contagious, won't that be dangerous? I guess you're right. Look, just go up to the maintenance lift and get to the emergency medical centre as soon as possible and get checked out. There's a doctor up there who has set up a triage centre for the affected patients. Thanks, and I didn't even have to shoot you. We didn't even have to fight. What a pleasant chappie. Let's give him a moment to get out of the way. I mean, we don't want him looking back and seeing what we're up to. We'll pretend to make our way to the elevator. Sir, I'm reading a patrol team ahead. Since the station is on medical alert, they're probably following a standard patrol pattern. We might be able to sneak past them or even lock them in one of the side rooms. Good to know. But before we do that, now that he's out of sight, let's pop in here for a moment and check the console for useful items. That's room number 1, where we find a duotronic transducer relay. Now we've got to be careful on this next door because we don't want the security officers to see us. So let's hide. Switch my crew to passive mode so they won't attack. And check the map to see where the security officers are. That's in behind us. We can't see quite just yet. There they are. We've got to avoid them by locking them in the room so we don't have to fight them. They're on standard patrol pattern. What we do is we just hang out down here and wait for them to go into that room so we can lock them in. There goes one. Don't be fooled, don't lock them in too early, wait for them all to go in there. It looks like they all just went in there. So now we run up here, and before they can do anything, we lock them in. As you can see, they're locked in there now. Let's just see if there's any more. Nope. Not from what I can see. So that's the second room. Now for the third room, I'm just looking for more security in case I miss any. Nope. So let's go in here. The third room. And there's nothing in here but a console that locks the door. So let's go up to find a plank regulator. What are you doing? I don't know what he was doing there. Oh look, now if you're a Klingon, you're going to want to knock her out. But if you're a Federation and you're expected to be diplomatic, if you are, you've got to talk to her and be nice to her, be interested in what she's doing so she doesn't get suspicious. Hang on, I want to switch my crew to passive, but they're not obeying. Anyway, talk to Ensign. Oh hey, you shouldn't be here. You should get up to the quarantine area. So the first response you're going to want in this fourth room is... Let me have a moment. What are you working on? That's the one. Oh, just running a level 3 diagnostic on this subsystem. The computers on this station are state of the art. I can simulate an entire copy of this station and display every piece of it as a wireframe model. Really? So can I? I can do that in the 21st century. On my computer here. On my current Dell computer. My piece of crap Dell computer. The next response you're going to want, so as not to make her suspicious, is, that's impressive. I know, isn't it? I'm very fortunate to be able to work here. Working on a station like this really strikes home just how modern and new everything is. Isn't this subsystem tied to the main computer core? That's the next one you want, so she don't get suspicious, and you'll have to knock her out if she does. Yes, although it has its own memory and subprocessor as well. It can even work in parallel with the computer core's main processor. This is the next one. What happens when you tie it into the main computer's memory? Here, I'll show you. That's odd. The core isn't responding to my request. I need to go talk to Lieutenant Myers. Make sure you get up to the quarantine area and get checked out by the doctor. Okay, Missy, you head away, and you can trust me to go to quarantine level. I'm just trying to make sure my officers do what they're told to, but they're not. Oh well. Okay, so check console for useful items. Warning, improper access may cause injury and or death. For hardware access, disable all power taps before servicing, discharge static electricity before contact with leads, unlock safety cage prior to access, unclamp data lead to replace regulator. So the first thing you're going to want to do is disconnect the power. Then it's touch the static discharge plate. Then you want to unlock the safety cage and then remove computer monitor and take your plank regulator to complete your little objective. That way you don't have to respawn. And now we go this way. You don't have to go along there, you have to go this way. And now we're at the elevator. Take maintenance lift, as it says so in the mission tracker. Once here, you've got to be very quick. You've got to run to this console and lock it. That prevents you from having to fight with any security officers. As you can see, they're trying to break their way in. So you climb through there before they get through. Now let's see what that officer said. What Kretz said. Because I had to be quick to get to that console and lock it before security found me. And lock the door before security found me. So I need to know what Kretz said. This isn't the power distribution level. Sir, security's overridden the turbo lift. They must have detected our arrival. Station security will probably be here in a minute, any minute now. If we're going to get out of this without a fight, we'd better look for alternatives quickly. We'll have to find a console that we can override the turbo lifts so that we can keep going. Override the turbo lifts. And that's what we just did. We locked. They changed the turbolift's direction because they detected our presence and laid a trap for us. So we quickly ran to a console and locked the door so they couldn't capture us with their trap. And then we used the Jeffrey tubes to avoid them. Another group of Starfleet officers ahead, sir. If we're cautious, we might be able to avoid them while they aren't looking. Use the command keys near your bridge officers' portraits to direct their movement. Set them to passive mode if you don't want them to attack. Okay, passive mode. Not that it's working, I don't think. And we've got to get past these security officers who are just behind those crates. And let me just position myself. And then grab that and make him run all the way over there. Make them both run all the way over there, and I hope they don't start a fight. which they have done so. So switch them out of passive, put them in attack mode. If my gun will start working, which it won't. Typical. Respawn. So, my crew got spotted. Well, we've lost the accolade of a peaceful incursion into the past because we started a fight. The reason that fight happened was because I clicked this button up here to send both officers at the same time over to the other side, and I didn't quite push them far enough to the other side. What worked on previous play of this is I click one at a time using their own individual movement buttons and place them in the corridor, making very careful you place them beyond the lip of the door so the security can't see them, and making sure that you time it so that when they run through to stand beyond the lip of the door, that they're doing it when there's no security looking this way or walking around. But no sense in messing around. Now this room here, you don't want to run into it. Hold it right there. Well, we've got to attack now because we've already spoilt it. I got a different accolade, a heated exchange accolade. I didn't get a diplomatic accolade, I got a heated exchange accolade because I started a fight. If you get through it without starting a fight, you get the other accolade. Now there is a way, there is something here. To unlock all the maintenance turbo lifts. Well, that's an undignified way for that lady to die. I thought they wore hot pants underneath their little mini skirts, but not in this game, they don't. More security. Where'd they go? Interesting. Take lift to power distribution level. Sir, we should be able to find an induction coil on this level as part of the power systems. Then we simply need to rig the subspace inducer to the sensor array and we can pinpoint the Davidian's incursion. So all that's left to do now is find an induction coil. Oh, looks like we found the triage centre that the doctor set up, and look what doctor it is. Dr. Leonard H. Bones McCoy. You there, don't just stand there. Come over here and give me a hand. People are dropping like flies on this station, and it's all I can do to keep up with. So we're with Dr. McCoy now, and we just got to go through the dialogue. What's going on? Some kind of illness is affecting the people on this station. Blue flashes and ghost stories. There has to be a reason for it, and we need to stop it. People are dying here. What do you need me to do? As far as I can tell, all these people reported seeing those strange blue flashes of light. Now they're all dying. They're worse than dead. Their brains are gone. Whatever this disease is, it's suppressing brain activity at an alarming rate. It's almost as if the energy between the neurons was being removed somehow. The blue flashes seem to be associated with a strange form of radiation, so we've set up the triage center here. That crazy engineer said that the power distribution station is heavily shielded. What kind of radiation? How should I know? I'm a doctor, not an engineer, damn it! Why didn't they put in the word damn it there? It would have made it more authentic. The blue flashes are still happening anyway. We need some way to replace that neural energy, jumpstart their brains somehow. Science officer, like rebooting a computer? I suppose that's one way of looking at it, but the mind is a much more complex and delicate instrument. Maybe that's the key. The brain might be able to restart itself if stimulated correctly. Give it the energy it needs, and then a stimulant to make it spread throughout the nervous system. I'll need to know how much neural energy the survivors have so that we can figure out how much they've lost. Then we'll need to apply cortical stimulators at the correct frequency. It's no what? Panacea? I don't know. But it may save the lives of the crew. Continue. Saving these lives is important to making sure that everything turns out the way it should. Come on, grab a tricorder and start checking the neural activity on some of these survivors. Take note of your readings. We're going to have to calculate the difference from a healthy mind and determine the right frequency to stimulate the brain. A normal human neuron has a resetting potential of minus 70 millivolts. Once you have some readings, we will calibrate a cortical stimulator and try to revive some of these people. Okay. Excuse me, my voice is going. So what you do is you run to a patient and follow the procedure that comes up. Scan neural patterns. Take specific readings. Scan neuron resetting potential. Neuron resetting potential readings minus 60 millivolts. Normal human neuron resetting potential minus 70 millivolts. Scan neural sodium potassium pump levels. Interior neuron sodium ion levels elevated. Sodium potassium gates damaged. Scan for anomalous neural activity. Sodium potassium gates damaged by forcible ion movement likely cause sudden change in neural voltage. Predicted results: hallucinations, loss of motor function, nervous system damage. Continue. And that's that patient scanned. Now we've got to scan a second one. Hey, Koi. I know you're ill, miss, but would you mind closing your legs? There's a fishy smell in here. Okay. That one, she's dead, Jim. Scan neural patterns. And it's the same again with this patient. Take specific readings. Scan neural resetting potential. Neuron resetting potential reading minus 58 millivolts. Normal human neuron resetting potential minus 70 millivolts. Continue. Scan neural sodium potassium pump levels. Exterior potassium levels elevated. Neurons limited to positive 15 millivolts. Active potential. Normal human active potential plus 30 millivolts. Continue. Scan for anomalous neural activity. Sodium and potassium ions depleted. Some neurons incapable of electrical response. Likely cause sudden change in neural voltage. Predicted results: fatigue, blurred vision, dulled senses, loss of autonomic functions. You mean she might crap herself? So that's why she's sitting there like that and so unladylike. Continue. Now we talk to Dr. McCoy. If we can catch him, he won't stand still. Ready to try some neural surgery? Review findings. Normal human neural resetting potential minus 70 millivolts. Normal human neural activity positive 30 millivolts. Neural charge at rest. At rest, neuron contains positively charged sodium ions exterior and positively charged potassium ions interior and exterior. Action potential. Neuron opens sodium gates. Sodium transitions to interior. Neural charge switches from minus 70 millivolts to plus 30 millivolts. Continue. Request explanation. We need to restore the mind to its baseline state. Review your findings and set your cortical stimulator so that it will reset the brain back to normal. Hopefully, with a little push from the cortical stimulator, the subject's brain will repair itself with some time and rest. Continue. Calibrate cortical stimulator. Now this is the hard bit. This is the frustrating bit of the episode that gets everyone. You need to know what you're going to do before you play this part of the episode. You need to have seen a walkthrough or watched a YouTube video of someone playing this episode in order to prevent yourself from getting very frustrated here. And I believe I have the correct settings for this cortical stimulator. So here we've got to go minus 70 millivolts. Now we set the voltage for action potential, which is plus 30 millivolts. And then we're going to want sodium external, potassium external and internal. And now we try it, see if it works. Now we talk to Dr. McCoy. It worked. We need to get this to the station commander. Come on. See? I've spent over an hour here trying to figure that out in the past. In past playthroughs. But now I've got old McCoy on my side. Sir, this might be a chance for us to find an induction coil. Yes, it might be. If we just Sneak away from Dr. McCoy there. Is there a door there? Yes, there is. And it'd be in here, but the only way to get it is to jump up high enough to reach it. Borrow induction coil. Integrate the subspace field emitter into the station scanners. Yep, so we've got all the parts we need to build our subspace field emitter, and now we've got to integrate it into the station scanners. Which is right here. Integrate subspace emitter. It's working, sir. The emitter has adjusted the active scanners for the station. What do you make of these readings? Imaging shows that the station is becoming suffused with triolic radiation. The radiation's coming from Driffin's comet. The comet itself is emitting mass amounts of triolic energy. The Davidians must have realized that it's a natural source of the energy, and they're using it as an easy way to shift into sync with us. It's like riding behind the wake of a ship in the water. But that's not all they're doing, sir. They're harnessing the trionic energy and infusing it with chronoton particles. With that, they could have enough energy to move the entire station out of phase, maybe even the entire sector. We have to stop them. The comet is the key, sir, but we can't do anything about the comet without a ship, and I don't think a 23rd century vessel is going to be able to do the job. With this information, it's clear that we have to find a way to destroy Driffin's comet, sir. If we can use one of the auxiliary reactors in sync with the subspace emitter that we've hooked up to the station in order to make a temporary portal that will take us back to our own time. Once we make it back, we'll have to report in and find a way to bring a ship back with us to destroy the comet. Harmonize an auxiliary reactor to generate a temporal portal. Good God, this episode is a mouthful. Use trionic energy to form a temporal portal. Well, we've got to go somewhere to do that. And it's through the other door. Is it this door? I don't think it matters, because both corridors will lead the same place. And here we are. Redirect reactor to triolic portal. So we're creating a portal to get back to our own time. And there is the portal. But these guys have suddenly appeared and we got to defeat them. Why does it take 4 or 5 times pressing each button to get it to work? Yep, the Davidians from the Next Generation episode called Time's Arrow, where Data goes to San Francisco in the past and meets Mark Twain and Guinan and younger Guinan. Give me a break. We got him. We have another problem. We've absorbed so much triolic radiation at this point that travelling through a gate again could cause radiation poisoning. Normally we'd just use hyronalin to flush it out, but Our medical supplies aren't protected against phase shifting. Our hydronoline supply is probably already irradiated. It isn't the sort of problem that comes up frequently. We will need large doses of hydronoline to chelate out the existing triolic radiation and protect us from the transition back through the portal. There's one person who can probably get it for us. Continue. Yes. Acquire a chelation dose of hydronoline from Dr. McCoy. Well, first I'll just pick up my little white drop. Thank God it's not a tribble. And we've got to go back to Dr. McCoy now and ask him for... It's your turn now. We helped you, now you help us, Mr. McCoy. Something else you need? Actually, I have a friend who took a little too much triolic radiation and could use some hydronoline. A friend, eh? With all the radiation flares that the stations experience, we're probably going to be a little short on hydronoline ourselves. I could maybe spare a hypo, but if your friend is getting radiation, he or she's on the station already. I'll need a double dose to chelate out a significant amount of triolic radiation. You should never lie to your doctor or your bartender. That much radiation would mean you've experienced something close to the epicenter, like fooling around with triolic waves. You don't need green blood and pointy ears to know that is a bad idea. But when the people on this station really needed it, you came through. I appreciated that. I think I can spare a few doses. Just don't let the station's captain hear about it. Why, thanks, McCoy. You know I'm not legit, but you're helping me anyway because I helped you. Look, I'm not sure who you are or where you came from, but I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just an old country doctor, but I know better than to ask too many questions about a little unexpected help. You probably shouldn't loiter around here too much longer, or people will start to ask questions. I'm going to put those cortical stimulators to good use. And thanks, you saved a lot of lives today. Yeah, well, it was nothing. And look at that, we don't even have to run back to the portal or anything. We can take the portal back to our own time whenever you are ready, sir. I guess we're just gonna not go back to the portal and disappear from here. Return to your own time. It's been a pleasure, McCoy. You have completed all objectives in this area. Do you want to beam up to the ship? Well, how can I? The ship's in the future. That's the end of the episode, and my voice only just about holding out. I didn't manage to get the diplomacy accolade, but I did get the heated confrontation accolade, which is easier because it means you have to start a fight. Return to your own time and report. We just did. Everything old is new, Franklin Drake says. So, Driffin's comet is the source of the triolic radiation. That explains a lot. Glad it does for you. However, we cannot simply destroy it in our own time. The Davidians have the means to go back to the 21st century and harness its energy there. However, that will be their only other chance. Before that, there's no Drozana station, so there's no place that will be close enough to the comet's trajectory to be of use to them. The only logical solution is to alter the past, destroy the comet there, and save the Federation. As it happens, I have access to a way to transport your ship back to the 23rd century. It's risky, but I think the odds are in your favour. And if they aren't, there's always time for another try. I will make the arrangement. Stay in touch. Drake out. You will receive the following reward. Well, we're done. You can choose one of the following, but there's only one to choose. Anyway, let's collect our reward.
Congratulations, Admiral.
And I just made level 55. We're being hailed by Admiral Quinn. Continue. Greetings, Admiral. I have new orders for you. Promotion. Promotion, Admiral. Congratulations. Bet? Don't you mean fret? Your efforts have been invaluable to Starfleet, and you are a model of duty and bravery for your fellow officers. Return to Earth Space Dock. I would like to formally recognize your contributions to the Federation. Speak to Admiral Quinn at Earth Space Dock. You will receive skill points and expertise. Accept. So, that is the end of the episode. Decline that because we don't want to do that one yet. That is the end of the 14th episode, called Everything Old is New, from the Klingon War storyline as played from a Federation's perspective. I just hail for the new officer. I don't really want any of them because they're not Ferengi, but we'll take the human and maybe sell him later. And I won't go through the promotion on this video, there's no need. But just to show that we are back in our own time in the future. Drazana Station is all rusty again. It's not new anymore, it's now a lot older. Just to end the episode where we began it. End the video where we began it, rather. So this is Alt Lexington for Meriki Command, hoping you enjoyed Everything Old is New. Enjoy your gaming and bye.